I'm Lori Duchek, Information Officer with the Regional Emergency Operations Center, joined again today by Daniel Klein, the Incident Commander, who's working on the St. Mary's River Fire. This is Thursday, July 27th, and it is our daily operational update. So I know that we had some pretty good sort of news in the last couple of days. Maybe you can just give us an update on see if that trend is continuing.
Yes. Trend is continuing. Everything is holding along existing roads, equipment guards, and our containment line. So so we've had really no growth on the fire in the last 36 hours. And everything was looking really good out there. So we did have crews that were in this prescribed burn from the spring. Again, we've been chatting about that a couple of days. Probably people saw some smoke in the air yesterday. We do have crews that are just doing some small scale planned ignitions along this line. There's a road, it's really faint here so people probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a road that goes through here and then ties back into the this mission road. So crews are just in here cleaning this up, small scale planned ignitions. It's looking really good in there. They probably have another day or two of work to complete this. So that's ongoing. And then over here is the kind of second piece of work that's ongoing. So crews did some planned ignitions just adjacent to the community at Ackham yesterday. That was really successful. That was aided by structure protection staff, just assisting BCWS ground personnel and making sure that everything was done really safely and that the community felt really protected there. There is still this pocket of interior unburnt fuel, so we have put black here connecting this fire down to here, and now we're just working on burning out the remainder of that unburnt fuel here through some small scale planned ignition. So that will take another day or two as well, so people will continue to see a bit of smoke coming up here. But we have a nice black line here, it's contained on this side, and we're feeling really good about how this operation is going here as well. So fire is looking really good. We continue to have contract crews and BCWS Type 1 resources on site, patrolling around the entire perimeter of the fire, pushing in, doing mop up, doing patrols, making sure that any hot spots that are within that, from the perimeter into about 100 feet are fully extinguished. And that's it for ops update.
Super. So one of the questions that I have for a lot of people, they hear the progress and they think, oh, this is great. There's nothing to worry about. But I think the message really is that it does remain an active fire, although you are getting a good hand on it. That's the reason that alerts are in effect. And certainly there's a portion of the Ackham community that is still on evacuation order. But when you talk about hotspots, that's really one of the things that has been a primary focus for you and your team. So as you're doing those patrols, that's one of the why is that important? I guess maybe if you can reiterate that.
Yeah. Again, it's a containment concern. So we make sure that there's no hot spots that are on the perimeter, from that perimeter up to 100 feet that are still smoking and could still give us concern if the wind's picked up and with spotting. So we are just really trying to button up the perimeter of the fire, make sure there's a really good buffer from 0 to 100 feet and that there's no longer any concern for containment and growth on the fire. So everything's looking really good. We just take that precaution to make sure that we're not lifting orders, we're not lifting alerts preemptively. We did feel good lifting the order in the Cherry Creek LD Ranch Road yesterday to let people back into this area. We're feeling really good about that. The final order that remains in place is just over the fire and across the flats in the Ackham community. Once we can kind of complete some of this burning here, we're going to look at revisiting that order and trying to get people back into that community. So the question on alerts of the broader geographic is ongoing on a daily basis for us.
Sometimes it's easy when things aren't as active and they're not as visible for people to get a little bit more complacent and feel like, oh, everything's just fine. But there still are concerns that you are making sure are buttoned up before we look at that, because the primary goal when you issue an evacuation alert or order, the number one priority is safety. That's the priority for the BC Wildfire Service, certainly the priority for us in receiving those recommendations, and it's also a priority for us to be able to get people home and have them off alert, but only when it's safe to do so. So we'll keep everyone posted on that front. In the meantime, I want to thank you again for your update today and hope you have continued success on this fire.
Thanks.
Thank you.